Hello and welcome back to True Crime Guys podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and Andy's here with me on Labor Day.
Despite being Labor Day, I am working away, slaving away in here.
We are in here laboring for your listening pleasure.
That's right.
That's right. Before we get in today's case, I got to remind you guys that you can hear these episodes early and ad-free with bonus content on patreon.com/truecrimeguys. There's a link right below the description of this episode, as well as links to other shows like Strange and Unexplained, Cryptic Soup, and Sandu Stories. Also, you can check out everything we have to offer at truecrimeguys.com as well. But today, we are talking about a teenage murder.
Yes, we are, guys.
And let me make it a little worse. It's a teenage murder who murdered her own sister.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and
Thanks a lot, Thina.
Get those little warnings right out there.
That's right.
Get those gold stars out there, guys.
There is violence. Well, technically, the sister who was the victim was 19, so she's technically not a child victim. Mm-hmm. But
child perpetrator still.
Claire Miller was just 14 years old when she murdered her older sister, who suffered from cerebral palsy while she was sleeping. Claire was a rising TikTok star who may have suffered a mental break that led her to killing her sister. Or, Andy, she could have been obsessed with violence all along.
Or maybe, Michael, just did it for the clout.
Maybe she did it for the frickin' views, dude.
Mm-hmm. Like and subscribe, people. Like and subscribe.
Ugh. All right, let's get into it, Andy.
I'll sing and I'll dance, or at least I'll look like I am. I'll be kind and sincere, or at least I'll sound like I am. With confidence and style, flawless transitions, I'll spill my emotions and lifelong ambitions and drown myself in the stream of attention and come back up with an outlook so different from everyone else around. From everyone else around. And I'll stand for what's right, and I'll draw hard lines in the sand. If you don't agree with me, I pray your mind will expand. 'Cause I'm a star in the making, my followers know it, and my hands are shaking, but I'll never show it, and my youth is fleeting, I don't wanna blow it, my world isn't real, but it's better than this one. Fuck everyone else around. Fuck everyone else around. Fuck everyone else around.
All right. So, first off, there's not a lot of coverage on this case, which I'm very shocked. I think it kind of got hushed because when it first came out, the headlines had a lot to do with TikTok. You know, TikTok murderer was getting thrown around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you can imagine that doesn't float well.
Yeah.
For a new social media site, especially in 2020.
Yeah, or 2021.
2021.
That's really blowing up right now.
Exactly.
And people are making this their career choice. You don't want that to be one of the big algorithm trending keywords,
No. So I don't know if that has anything. I don't know if, TikTok got money, don't play. They could have hushed it. Who knows? But for whatever reason, it's not discussed a lot. Of course, Cryptic Soup covered it, and that's where we learned about it through Thina. And there's a few others. Explore With Us on YouTube. They also did it's not even 10 minutes video. It's one of their earlier documentaries. If you're not familiar with Explore With Us and you're into true crime, definitely got to check them out. But viewer discretion is advised. These guys, now their current videos, they get footage that no one else has. They really do. Interrogation footage, 911 calls, all kinds of stuff like that. But this is one of their earlier videos, and they didn't have any of that stuff.
No.
They didn't have anything extra. honestly, besides a clip of Claire's very last TikTok post, which is quite ominous. I wouldn't really call it evidence, but it is very ominous.
It's almost like circumstantial evidence, to be like as the best you can say. It's like we're gonna take a look at this, but we can't prove anything off of it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And there's not really a lot of mystery to this case either. There's really not. And I think that might also play into the fact of people. But I think what it lacks in mystery, honestly, it makes up for in discussion.
yeah, I
Really.
agree.
There's a lot to talk about here. And you'll see what I mean. So Claire Elena Miller was born January 11th, 2007 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to her parents Mark and Marie. Now, fast forward to 2021, Claire is a 14-year-old student at Lancaster County Day School in eastern Pennsylvania, a school of only 550 students, most likely a private school.
Oh yeah.
You know, most of the schools, if they have day in the name, usually it's a private school and usually an uppity private school in my experience.
Yeah, I think I had about that many students in my class at my public school.
Yeah, exactly. But Claire was a member of the field hockey team there. And they have a field hockey team. They're freaking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, fuck
that's
off.
a private school.
Where's your lacrosse lacrosse team up in there in Upper Pennsylvania?
Right, right. But she was also on the middle school activities committee and served as co-president of her 9th grade class. So quite popular.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe popularity was important to her.
Being well liked, at least. Yeah. People got to know.
That's-
She wants to be at least well known.
That might be safe to say. Yeah. So because she was also well known on a little site called TikTok. Yeah. And
Never heard of it.
it was somewhat of a little site at that time.
Yes, 2021.
Yeah, 2021, right in the middle of that goddamn pandemic, which that comes into play in this case as well a little bit. But at the time, Claire was a, I guess, quote unquote, well-known TikTok star. Her username was @SpiritsAndSuchConsulting. She had around 22,000 followers at the time.
Now, was this before the murder or after the murder?
Before.
So 22 before the murder. I would say even in 2021, I wouldn't even say I would say like maybe rising star. Like 22,000 rising star at the time, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
But still, spirits and such consulting, you're 14. What?
Well, yeah.
Where's
Okay.
your license? What are you consulting in?
Exactly. That was just the page name,
I know.
we don't know what she meant by that or whatever. There's really not much to lead into with that, I guess. But most of the videos were just her lip syncing the songs, talking about anime, a lot of anime.
Oh, yeah.
She was dancing around her room, doing reenactments of anime. You get it.
Just so many pictures, so many slideshows of anime characters with songs behind it.
Yeah.
And kind of, I mean, if you look back at it now, it's cringy. It's very cringy.
Oh, yeah.
It's also very cringy for two men in their 30s to be watching this 14-year-old
Yeah, it
bunch
was
of dancing. And we're just
extremely
like,
cringy, yeah.
This feels weird watching this.
I was
even though it's-
uncomfortable.
Yeah, we're just
I'm
like,
not gonna lie.
we weren't the target audience for this.
Sometimes it's almost not worth it,
Yeah, it's like we clearly weren't the target audience for this, and now we're researching, and it feels weird.
Yeah, we suffered. We suffered for this one. But when Claire was not posting on TikTok, okay, she helped take care of her older sister, Helen, who was 19 years old. She was born in May of 2001. And Helen was diagnosed with cerebral palsy and was wheelchair bound, requiring pretty much constant care. And also, most reports say she was nonverbal. I don't know to what extent. I don't know if she, just said one word or just no sentences or just no words at all. I'm not sure, but she did do art. She did do paintings and she did sculptures and things like that.
Yeah, cerebral palsy it presents in a range of different symptoms and forms to an extent. Not like
Exactly.
not so much a spectrum, but there's like advanced stages, I guess.
Right,
Different.
right.
Yeah.
But on February 22nd, 2021, it appeared to be a normal Sunday evening when the Millers went to bed. But it would be far from that. When around 1 a.m. on Monday, February 22nd, Claire snuck into Helen's room where she was already asleep. And with a knife that she had swiped from the kitchen, she proceeded to stab Helen 7 times. Twice in the chest, twice in the jaw, and 3 times in the neck. And then she placed a pillow over her sister's face until she was gone.
And I feel like when you look back at those things, those like just those stab wounds, I feel like the jaw ones, people always look at those like, oh, that's so much like more violent because it's face. It's like, it feels like those were like she was going for the throat and maybe, sister moved and was fighting back to an extent. It's like if the other wounds are neck and chest, it's like jaw seems like, oh, she was going for the throat.
Possibly. Or it could lead a little bit if you believe the defense, which, she will later use insanity. I mean, I think it's her only fucking chance.
Oh, yeah, that you have to.
So, spoiler alert, she tries to go with the insanity plea, right? And if anything, and she says that she sees hallucinations, right? That was part of the defense as well. She saw hallucinations and saw that someone was like overtaking her sister and just saying awful things to her. So that may be why she actually stabbed her in the face.
There's also, part of the insanity plea.
Yes. So right after this attack, Claire then calls the police on her own. Just immediately calls the police.
Well, apparently, immediately they think that's part of the ominousness of that video of the like, how immediate was this?
I would say within a 10-minute period.
Yeah.
Within a 10-minute period. She calls the police, and she told emergency dispatcher at 1:08 a.m. that she had just killed her sister. Police started to arrive at the house, and her parents were just waking up. The police were already there, and her parents are waking up.
Yeah, the police are the police are basically waking her parents up.
They had no clue what was going on. Just imagine being a parent, waking up in the middle of the night to that.
Oh, no. This is part of the things that are nightmares, yeah.
That's insane. Your heart is ripped in like 1,000 different directions.
Mm-hmm. Especially if there was no warning signs to an extent or any sort of like things leading up to this.
Right.
It seems very shocking.
No doubt. So Claire was outside when the cops arrived on the 1500 block of Clayton Road, just waiting. The local police chief said, I don't know that I have ever been a part of something quite as sad as this. And when authorities approached Claire, she was just repeatedly telling them, I stabbed my sister. I stabbed my sister. She said that her dead sister was lying in her bed. And the police were unsure if Claire was in shock or what was going on because she just stood there watching them. She was wearing a blue shirt with a cat's face and checkered pajama pants, and they were soaked in blood. Close to the house was a pile of red snow, where authorities wondered if she had tried to clean herself up outside, or maybe she was just standing there. That's where she was waiting.
Yeah.
Because she was waiting outside.
Well, you do see in some of the pictures as well, when they did take some pictures of it, it looks like there's like a bloody handprint that's like in the snow and kind of dragged. So it almost looks like she was trying to use the snow to wipe some of the blood off of her hands.
Yes.
So that's kind of why they're like, was she out here? What was she doing in the snow per se?
Right. Exactly. When officers and EMS arrived, they tried to resuscitate Helen, but it was too late. And at 4:13 a.m., she was declared deceased by the Lancaster County Coroner's Office.
I mean, that's still 3 hours of trying. So,
well, I mean, that's declared dead by the coroner's office, so they'd already transported her and everything. You know what I'm saying?
The EMS or the EMT is not going to pronounce her dead.
Yeah. Here's a statement from one of the officers who was on the scene. He said, "We removed the pillow from the girl's face and saw a knife sticking out of Helen's neck just above her chest. Helen's hands were up near her head, and officers noticed a large amount of blood on Helen's chest and on the bed." That was the initial finding. That's exactly how they find her. Claire was instantly taken into custody and charged with criminal homicide, and she'd be tried as an adult because in the state of Pennsylvania, they don't consider murder to be a delinquent crime.
That sounds almost more like a Texas thing than a Pennsylvania thing.
It does.
That sounds like more of a Texas, like, you kill anybody, Jack, we'll kill you back.
I mean, you kill them on purpose, I guess is what they're saying. They're not talking about accidents and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Murder is not a delinquent crime. So it's like, but at the same time, Pennsylvania? Okay, all right. Colonialism, let's go. Old school, baby. Bring out the noose.
Right? They do have the Amish.
Jeez, yeah. Unforgiving, them Amish.
But according to the Patriot News, while in custody, this is just disturbing. Claire was provided a fast food breakfast from good old Mickey D's. And when it arrived, she said, "Ooh, McDonald's. I would have killed someone sooner if I knew I was going to get McDonald's.
Oh, that's not a good thing to say
No.
in police custody after murder.
No,
Oh.
of your sister.
Yeah, you're really hurting
Showing
that case
zero.
now, aren't you?
Zero remorse. I got another one for you. Also, while sitting in her juvenile detention cell while she was waiting, she admitted that she Michael Myers'd her sister. And this little joke came from when her cell phone went off from across the room, and she could hear it, and it was playing the Halloween theme song. So it kind of like triggered that.
Oh.
That little joke she wanted to throw in there.
Yeah, girl, you're not really helping your case for insanity. Now you're kind of just helping your case for twat. Like you're being
Yeah.
kind of a shit person now.
Yeah. for
Yeah, that's,
sure.
you're hurting that insanity case real quick now.
She's only 14.
I know,
know,
and
this
there's a lot of
is-
14-year-olds who are just dicks. Taken to a next level now.
Yeah, no doubt. On April 16th, 2021, Claire appeared in Lancaster County Court via video feed from a state prison in Muncie, where her attorney, Robert Bayer, told the judge that she had no interest in a preliminary hearing, allowing the case to proceed without prosecutors having to prove that they had enough evidence to charge her. Her arraignment was scheduled for May 14th, but she waived her right to that as well and pleaded not guilty.
So she doesn't want a trial, but she's going to plead not guilty? Okay.
Yeah, and it's weird, right? So her attorney filed a petition to have Claire decertified so the prosecution would occur in juvenile court, arguing that she had a psychotic break that led to the killing, namely auditory hallucinations, like I talked about earlier, coming from a woman that she attempted to silence by stabbing.
Okay. But again, there needs to be, usually there's some symptoms, there's some signs leading up to somebody
No doubt.
having a violent, murderous, psychotic break. And usually it's not a 14-year-old who goes into that level without any sort of signs beforehand.
Exactly. So here's what the prosecution argued. They said that Claire had been growing fixated with violence and homicide, and that was the root of what happened, not a mental break. This was apparently due to some text messages that alluded that Claire wanted to hurt others. These weren't released, okay? But that, in addition to the circumstantial evidence we already have.
Yeah.
But Judge David Workman denied the petition to move the case to juvenile court in July of 22. If he had, then it would have been looked at as a case that focuses more on rehabilitation and supervision up until the age of 21, and then they kind of go from there.
Yeah, then it
maybe
kinda
she's
gets-
let free if she's rehabilitated, or maybe she serves more time.
Yeah, they kind of re-look at the case then to be like,
That's
are
what-
you more of a criminal now? Or
That's what would have happened. But that's not what's happening to you, Claire. On March 10th, 2023, Claire, she's 16 now, she pled guilty to third-degree murder. According to prosecutors, a person who waives their right to trial may plead guilty but mentally ill. Claire was ruled mentally ill, but not mentally disabled.
there's a difference.
There is a
very
difference.
much a difference between being mentally ill and mentally disabled or mentally insane.
Exactly. So under state law, guilty but mentally ill technically means that Claire acted as a result of mental disease or defect, lacking the capacity to appreciate the wrongfulness of her conduct or to conform conduct to the requirements of the law. So during the hearing, Claire was asked by the judge a series of questions to ensure that she understood what she was pleading to and that she was doing so, knowingly. And through those questions, they figured out that Claire had been being treated for depression and another unidentified psychotic disorder, and that currently she was on medication.
Okay.
Mueller said, "The events that bring us here today are incoherently tragic. Mr. and Mrs. Miller sit here on the difficult challenge of supporting both the victim and the defendant." That's true. That's a tough place.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tough place to be. Marie Miller, their mother, said, "We love them both. I know Claire didn't mean to do this. We lost Helen, and we don't want to lose Claire too. We don't want her to be punished and not get help and be put away for a long period for something that was out of her control. We can't lose her too." End quote. Out of her control? Mm-hmm. That's a bit of a stretch for
And
me.
it's such a weird thing, too, to even consider as a parent, to be like, to think that you're losing your child at the same time, because every time you look at that child, you're going to those thoughts you're gonna have those thoughts of like, that child killed my other child, and not as like an accident, as a, something happened as kids.
No.
It's like, this was a 14-year-old stabbing her
Right.
disabled sister
I would
to death.
consider putting a lock on the outside of her door
Yeah.
for my safety.
Or or locks
You know
on
what
the
I'm
inside of
saying?
my doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. More
sure.
locks.
Yeah. Both.
Yeah.
You got to come in there like it's fucking Rainbow Six Siege. Like, you ain't coming up in this bitch.
Right.
But the district attorney, Heather Adams, here's a quote from her. She says, "While all homicides are tragic, this case is particularly sad because the victim was her own sister and unable to defend herself. The pain this must have caused the family is unthinkable. The Commonwealth does not dispute that Miller suffered from a mental health event at the time of this offense, but it legally did not excuse the conduct. The sentence imposed today holds her accountable for the crime committed, but balances the nature of this offense, her young age, her mental condition at the time, and the protection of society. The duty now rests with the Department of Corrections to appropriately treat her mental illness and only grant parole when it is clear that she is no longer a threat to the public." And I think that's fair.
I agree. I
That's
think
fair.
Because of the fact that too, that we didn't even really touch on the fact that like that last video that she posted on TikTok.
Not yet.
So
We
it's
will.
like the things that she did after the fact of like after the murder, it's like I said, it really hurts that insanity case of these
It does.
of the jokes and the things. It's like, do you understand what you're doing, or did you do this for another reason and you think this is not a big deal? Mm-hmm. Like, do you think that you're gonna get off on this? Like, kind of almost the notion
Right.
of like, do you think there's not gonna be any consequences for this? Like, you're kind of already kind of setting the groundwork for, oh, this was just kind of like we talked about, almost like maybe for the clout,
Yeah,
kind of for
maybe.
the views almost.
Like you mentioned, yeah, the last TikTok video is really ominous. Mm-hmm. It really is. But we know she will at least spend 12 and a half years incarcerated because the judge gave her a time somewhere between 12 and a half to 40. I don't know what the 40 is. I guess it's like at 40, no matter what, I guess we'll kick you out.
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
the 12 and a half has to be somewhere because like when you got sentenced at this age, we'll give
Yeah.
you that. You're like 16 and a half. We get it.
Yeah, it's weird. But she will most likely serve her sentence at the State Correctional Institute at Muncie, which is about 80 miles northwest of Lancaster in Lycoming?
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 Yeah. Lycoming? Maybe.
I don't want to butcher that. Lycoming County? Lycoming? I don't know. I'm not going to spend too much time on it.
All
I've
right.
already made it a thing.
Lycoming
Yeah.
County.
Now it's a whole thing, Andy. Way to go. No, but it's one of 2 female-only prisons in Pennsylvania. And while in custody, Claire is said to be receiving medication and behavioral therapy.
I mean, we hope that's what, prisons are supposed to be doing for their mentally unstable patients.
We'll see, right? She's a great case to follow and see how she does, right? I think didn't one of the perpetrators in the Slender Man case, one of those girls, I think has since been rehabilitated.
I believe so.
And it went really well.
I think so. I think we do. I think that was actually a thing that
Yeah.
one of the girls got released. So
You don't hear that often.
no,
It's good to hear. But one thing that's easy to overlook, especially in hindsight, is that this was a COVID crime, Andy. Right smack dab in the middle of the COVIDness, the vid, if you will.
that
You know,
time
it was.
lockdown.
And some attribute that to at least to be part of the problem. Claire's attorney said that this case highlights a serious mental health crisis affecting children, mentioning that younger people are fighting off personal demons and mental illnesses that often get overlooked, and the pandemic has made that problem even greater. Her attorney said they experienced fear as they watched their parents suddenly stay home from work and their grandparents hospitalized or on ventilators. They wondered if they too would become ill. They experienced depression as their future plans of entering the workplace, going to college, or engaging in extracurricular activities were placed on indefinite hold or derailed altogether. And they experienced anxiety when the friendships they had forged were stripped from them by the shutdown. Many remained alone and isolated in their bedrooms with only the internet to keep them company. And these emotions make the struggle with mental illness even more unbearable. I do agree with that.
I definitely agree with that, especially raising kids through COVID, and the kids that did have to stay home from school and not having to do those things. And you started to see the fact that these kids, they didn't have their interactions, their
kids
energy, their social, their friends, and those connections
and
that they
even
were
worse,
working on.
they spent their whole time on a phone. Having their personalities and their ideas morphed by whatever the algorithm says. Next video.
Yep. Like I said, I genuinely do. And I think it also, not only did it make the mental health issues worse in some of those cases, I think it also just made them more prevalent to parents because they were almost like the parents were forced to spend more time around their kids.
Yeah.
Everyone's in the house together.
You would hope so.
Yeah, your
Unless
kids
they
aren't
just
getting sent off to school for
put more
6-7
screens in front of
hours a
their
day,
face.
and you're not going to work for 8 to 9 hours a day, and
Yeah.
only coming home and seeing each other for 2 hours a day. So it's like everyone is in the same house. You got these things are becoming more prevalent. You saw so many people's relationships get tested, and things either thrive or fall because people were kept in proximity to each other.
Yep.
Things just kept getting perpetuated by this.
Judge David Workman determined that Claire had multiple mental health diagnoses, including gender dysphoria and hallucinations. Her attorney added that Claire was hearing a pressuring voice that talked her into the killings. He said that Claire believed she was stabbing a hallucination, a version of herself that told her she was ugly and a failure. See, this is where the face stabs could have came in, I thought. Claire told them that she heard voices that even led her to try to slash her own throat the same night she killed her sister, allegedly. And there are some marks on her throat, and some of the YouTube videos, or especially Explore With Us, I think they try to kind of point that out. But it kind of looks like defense wounds to me.
Yeah, I saw some of those pictures too, and I thought the same thing. I was like, that's because when I first thought the face wounds would be defensive almost, of moving around while she's maybe thrashing or like trying to defend herself. And that's why maybe you got those face wounds in there.
Yeah.
'Cause, the scratches on her neck, they kind of look like fingernail marks to
They
an
do.
extent. Or
They do.
or almost like just a line, not like a blade.
Right.
So
Exactly.
and not to, I know I'm not someone who suffers from hallucinations or schizophrenia or anything like that. And I know that those can be wide ranges of things. But again, for someone at this age to have never really had any bouts of these things, it seemed like never had any other incidents of acting out these hallucinations or acting on them.
Right.
For one night, for this to be the only time she acts out in this level. And then that, like I said, that video she posted afterwards, it just seems like it was planned more, or it just like it was not a spur of the moment mental health break decision. The fact that she was in enough headspace to post a TikTok
Yeah. And
in that time frame.
And a lot of her TikTok videos can still be found on YouTube compilations and whatnot. But the video that we're referring to it's just kind of like a few random shots at night. There appears to be a tree, and there's snow on the ground. There's blood on the snow. There's trickles of snow. Like Andy said, there's a bloody handprint. And then there's also this stuffed giraffe, and it's apparently covered in blood. I mean,
it
it's
looks
red.
like it is, yeah.
It's a red liquid for sure, and it's soaked in blood, and it's just like sitting up against this tree, and it's just different video shots of it that just clip together really weird.
Yeah. It's a very weird, ominous, kind of thriller, psychological video. But the fact that you see the video, like you see her handprint, you see all the blood outside, and it's in her yard. Like this is all evidence that you can see, like from the crime scene photos and stuff.
It's creepy.
And then she took that video, and not only like Michael said, it's multiple shots. So this video was edited together. It's not like it was just one steady thing.
And
she
it does
clipped
look
these
like
together and had enough time and mental, like I said, mental well-being or mental capacity to like put this together, stitch this together, edit this, upload, post, and like then call the police.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But
much
if you think
insanity
about
was
like
there?
if you think about the state of mind she was probably in, right? Like extremely heightened pulse, very high blood pressure, probably hot. That's why she was able to immediately go outside. You know what I mean? Like she's freaked. Her hands are probably shaking.
Yeah, adrenaline
And then you're
is just
sitting
going.
here trying to record this video for whatever reason. There's only one reason you would do it.
Yeah. To post it, yeah. And to, like I said, to edit it together, stitch it together, upload, post, and then call the police. Mm-hmm. That's when it becomes like, okay, you had to make sure you did one last thing, and then you went to call the police. It's like, you knew you weren't getting out of this.
Right.
There's no getting out of this. So I don't know. I don't want to ever victim blame or do anything like that. There's definitely no victim blaming.
The victim couldn't have done anything different.
That's what I'm saying. There's no victim blaming here, and I know that there's a lot of people who consider Claire kind of a victim of her, like in her own mind, of like having mental illness and having hallucinations, and if she really was suffering from as much mental instability that she claims, that's a different story.
Right.
The videos that you watch beforehand, the statement she makes afterwards, they kind of just tell a different story.
Yeah.
So,
and she's pretty obsessed with some pretty violent animes. Doesn't really mean anything. Doesn't mean shit. I like violent shit too. But I'm just saying. And then there was also a character that she was obsessed with. I'm not familiar with them, but this is just some I picked up from watching the videos and whatnot and discussions. One of the characters that she was pretty obsessed with actually killed their own sister in the anime.
okay. See,
Right. It's just a lot of circumstantial stuff. I mean, we know she did it, but it's like
the why.
it's
all about
it's
the
the
why.
mental stability. It's like, but it's like if this girl was so obsessed with this anime that she wanted to be it, that's also its own type of mental illness, right? I mean, so either way, it's kind of it's like whether she became obsessed with violence. One person said it well. They said this. I saw a comment on one of her videos that said this girl uses violence as an aesthetic, and I'm like, yeah, she does. And maybe she got tired of being a poser, and thought I'll just impose violence on a unsuspecting victim who can't fight back.
Yeah. Or there's so much speculation in this case to an extent, and what really was going on in her mind and the why of it all. And like I said, it's still a relatively new case. And the more she goes through therapy and actually gets help in prison or whatever state that she's in, maybe we'll even get more information from her. Maybe she'll end up telling slightly a different story as the time goes on. So, like I said, we know what we know now, but it's still relatively young.
Right. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I don't know. It's not like it's unsolved or anything, you know. It's just you just like to know if she is able to be rehabilitated, or if she's just this is just her first sign of this psychosis setting in, or was it a reaction to medication? It's like, but none of it's an excuse though. At the same time,
Nope.
But we'd like to know to prevent this in the future. Obviously, right? You know.
One of the best things that's always been said about, mental illness is that any kind of mental illness, it is not your fault, but it is your responsibility.
Yep.
So it's just always a big thing about that. It's like, it's not your
Facts.
fault, but once you
Your
become a certain
responsibility.
age, it's your responsibility.
Yep. That's right. Just like choosing the right deodorant.
Smelling good is your responsibility.
Yeah, it's your responsibility, okay? Don't go around stinking. Oh My Guy, I can help you out with that. Oh My Guy is an innovative, all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. And there's tons of scents to choose from, like vanilla, cherry almond, sandalwood, lavender, lemongrass, Egyptian musk, coconut, dreamsicle, leather. We have our own scent as well, True Crimepine. If you don't know where to start, that's a great place. And because you're True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the code word Crimepine, all one word, CRIMEPINE, no spaces, for 15% off your order at shop_ohmygaia on Instagram or ohmygaia.com, ohmygaia.com. Don't forget to use code word Crimepine for 15% off your order. And while you're looking shit up, you might as well go to Patreon. Patreon.com/True Crime Guys. There's tons of content on there. Everything we've ever covered. Somebody messaged me, yesterday morning. I want to know, why have you not covered Port Arthur Massacre? How could you not have covered it? He's like, I've been listening since 2019. I was like, really? We covered it in 2017. Ooh. What a rookie.
Well, actually.
What a rookie.
Push my glasses up.
But you can find all of our old episodes on Patreon, patreon.com/True Crime Guys for just $3. That's like half a Starbucks coffee. We used to say it was as a coffee. Now it's half a coffee.
Right? No, it's not even like a venti.
Yeah. But anyways, we appreciate it, guys. Any way you support the show, thank you for leaving reviews. Thank you for following on social media, sharing with your friends, whatever have you. Give us a follow if you haven't at True Crime Guys, wherever you're on the socials. And you can also send case suggestions via direct message or email truecrimeguys@gmail. All right? I think that's pretty much it, Andy. Got anything?
I think that's about it, Michael.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week for another crazy True Crime Guys case. All right. Until then, just keep on creeping.
Bye.